The U.S. Senate passes a bill to release the Epstein files, and President Donald Trump sparks outrage yet again, but this time with a piggy remark. The United States Senate has made headlines this week by unanimously passing a bill that compels the Department of Justice to release unclassified files related to Jeffrey Epstein. This dramatic move followed overwhelming bipartisan support in the House, where the bill passed by a margin of 427-1, with both Republicans and Democrats lining up behind it. The legislation, known as the Epstein Files Transparency Act, instructs the Justice Department to make available all unclassified records, documents, communications, and investigative materials linked to Epstein within 30 days of the bill becoming law. Notably, the records will exclude any victim-identifying information and images or materials depicting child abuse. The unanimous passage in the Senate effectively blocked any last-minute amendments, despite calls from some Republicans for changes, and sent the bill straight to President Trump's desk. Speaker Mike Johnson and some Republican leaders expressed disappointment that the bill moved forward without changes, insisting the legislation may impact ongoing investigations or privacy protections. President Trump, who had previously expressed skepticism but recently told reporters, "I'm all for it," is expected to sign the measure imminently. However, sources caution that some files may remain hidden due to claims of executive privilege or because of their connection to active investigations. Many lawmakers and survivors of Epstein's abuse welcomed the bill, holding a vigil on Capitol Hill and breaking into cheers when the news reached them. If this legislation becomes law, it could shine a harsh light on not only Epstein, but also Ghislaine Maxwell and potentially dozens of high-profile individuals, government officials, and associates referenced in the records. The Justice Department has yet to confirm how it will comply with the mandate, and there's debate about how much information will eventually be made public. Still, the passing of the bill represents a watershed moment in the fight for transparency surrounding one of the most infamous criminal cases of recent times. In other news-grabbing headlines, President Donald Trump caused tremendous backlash this week after insulting Bloomberg correspondent Catherine Lucy during a live press event. In the middle of a contentious exchange prompted by questions about legal challenges and campaign controversies, a journalist from Bloomberg News tried to ask a follow-up question on Epstein. The president turned to her and said, "Quiet, quiet, piggy." Political commentators and members of the media swiftly condemned the remark as demeaning and unprofessional, pointing out that it continues a familiar pattern of Trump using personal insults against critics and reporters. Trump has refused to apologize for the insult, doubling down on social media and redirecting criticism toward what he called fake news attacks on his campaign. The reporter herself responded, saying the insult carried sexist overtones and served to distract from the substance of her questions. The incident has reignited old debates about Trump's tone and attitude toward women, as well as his combative relationship with the media. Some of his supporters insist he was baited, while others in the GOP have distanced themselves from the remark, calling for more civility in public discourse. Alicia Machado rose to international fame in 1996 after being crowned Miss Universe at the age of 19. Now, 20 years later, she is back in the headlines. Ms. Machado claims she was called Miss Piggy by Donald Trump, the Republican candidate for the White House who owned the beauty pageant when she won it. Alicia Machado, the Venezuela-born model, says Trump commented after she put on some weight following her win. Back in 2016, the issue was brought up by Hillary Clinton, the Democratic presidential nominee, during a televised debate with Mr. Trump. She was making a point about her rival's remarks about women. "This is a man who has called women pigs and slobs and dogs, and someone who has said pregnancy is an inconvenience to employers, who has said that women don't deserve equal pay unless they do as good a job as men. And one of the worst things he said was about a woman in a beauty contest. He loves beauty contests, supporting them and hanging around them. And he called this woman Miss Piggy. Then he called her Miss Housekeeping because she was Latina. Donald, She has a name. Her name is Alicia Machado. The White House is standing by Donald Trump's decision to call a female reporter piggy. A White House official defended Trump's comments to Bloomberg correspondent Catherine Lucy aboard Air Force One, saying, "This reporter behaved in an inappropriate and unprofessional way towards her colleagues on the plane. If you're going to give it, you have to be able to take." The official did not provide any clarity on what made Lucy's behavior improper. Representative Maria Elvira Salazar said that Trump looked picturesque as he scolded the journalist and also remarked that no one is perfect. Salazar defended the commander-in-chief while speaking to CNN host Jake Tapper on yesterday's episode of The Lead, where she also let slip that she thinks Trump is a difficult politician. Following Trump's remarks, there is a flurry of AI-generated memes of President Trump. Please consider subscribing to stay up to date on these stories and more. And if you like this video, please throw me a thumb. I hope to see y'all in the next one.